Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel has already been out for about 2 months, and I feel like it's time to talk about the ban list. I feel like this is the most important thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it just changes up the format, and especially with no new cards coming out in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, I feel like this is the best way to shake up the format. And before you even say anything, no, we're not banning question. It's just something to have on the screen before we talk about the different cards. There's gonna be a lot of cards on this list I want to talk about and what I think Konami will do. So let's start off with the first cards because I feel like they're pretty obvious. I mean, Konami, like, what are they thinking? Like, what were they actually thinking when they thought about this Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel ban list? And that first card is True King of All Calamities. How did Konami not think about banning this card? Like, it's just unfun. It stops you from playing. Like, just take this out of the format. Another card that does the same exact thing, Rongo Midiad. Rongo Midiad is another card that says you cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I feel like this card should just be banned because, like, it's just unfun. Like, even though you could just, you know, surrender, you know, go to the next game, like, if they make this combo, because it's not like an easy combo to do, but if you open up 0 hand traps and you just get Rongo Midi, it's just game over. Like, this card is just stupid. Just get it out of the game. Now the next one is a more controversial hit because I feel like it's not that good to be banned, but with the popularity of Tri-Brigade Zodiac, I feel like this is probably gonna happen, especially because it happened in the TCG and the OCG. And that is the ban of Zodiac Dryden. I feel like a lot of like Konami just doesn't like Zodiacs, period. And I feel like they're going to ban the Zodiac Dryden because it's just one of the more generic cards that are just very powerful against like many different decks. And like, I don't think they're going to ban Zeus. I don't think they're going to like hit any of the other Zodiac main deck monsters. I feel like they're just going to try to hit Zoo and then lower the consistency of the Tri-Brigade archetype. So I don't agree with it. I just think it's just gonna happen. Like, I just feel like it's just going to happen just based off of what they did in the TCG and the OCG. Now the next card is going to be a card that is not banned in the OCG, but I feel like because it's just a cheesy card, I feel like Konami is going to ban it, and that is the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, whatever, Supreme King Dragon, whatever, I don't know. This card is used in the Pendulum FTK. It's not really that popular, but just to prevent FTKs from being popular or even semi-popular on the ladder, I feel like they need to address the FTK. And this is like the most generic card they can go after, because even though the Independent Nightingale is like the reason why the FTK exists, I feel like there's many different ways to abuse the Starving Venom card. Just being able to copy any card in the graveyard, I feel like, I think what it does. The field or the graveyard, which is like really good. So I feel like this is the more safer option. Obviously Nightingale can be used in like different like FTKs, but I just feel like this is the safest route for them to be able to stop this FTK from being used, or even like different ways to like do degenerate combos. The next card is a card that is just generically too strong and is being used with a card called Dragon Buster, the Destruction Sword, and that is the Union Carrier. I feel like Union Carrier is the correct hit. This card is not only being used to equip the Dragon Buster, it's also used to equip stuff like the Black Dragon and just other cards to get into the graveyard. So I feel like the Union Carrier is just the obvious hit. Just the bandage. This card is just doomed to do like degenerate stuff. So just eliminating this card, being able to just say, no, you cannot Buster Lock me, you cannot, you know, equip B Buster Drake to the Herald card and say it's unaffected by spells, so you can't Droplets or Dark Ruler no more. Like, just get this card out of the format. It's only used for degenerate combos, and I feel like it's going to move the game in a healthier direction. Now the next card is going to be another hit to the Tri-Brigade Laralusk archetype, and I feel like this is just kind of obvious if you've been in the TCG, you've seen their recent ban list, and that is the Samorg Bird of Sovereignty. This is used to get out the Wind Barrier statue, or sometimes get out the Apex Avian. I feel like this card is very degenerate because it also gives protection to those wing beast monsters it points to, and obviously to itself. So it's just not, you know, healthy for the game to be summoning out a monster that says you cannot special summon any monsters unless like you're playing like a wind deck or whatever. And even if you do have a wind deck, then they're just gonna have other negation to stop you. So I feel like this is just like the safest hit to lower down the Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk archetype. So the next and final hit for the link monsters, this is going to one, before I get to the main deck monsters, this is like, it's not that good of an archetype, but it's a very popular archetype among like the top 10. And I feel like this is just following the TCG and the OCG, and just in general, like this deck is just kind of popular and it's kind of annoying to play against. And that is the Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew. I feel like this card is going to go to 1 because it's just like being able to just annoyingly summon a monster every single turn and then, you know, go into your full combo of Prank Kids. It's just not good for the game. I feel like they learned their lesson with something like Zodiac, being able to do Zodiac Dryden, Juliet Barble, you know, detach, add this, you know, detach, you know, summon this, and you know, it's just the same thing with all these one card combo decks. I feel like they're going to eliminate this as well. So let's move on to the main deck cards that are going to get banned. I feel like these cards are they're just degenerate, and I feel like they're just not healthy for the game. The first card is Van Exampness. This card, being able to lock yourself out of special summoning, is it's just super degenerate. As I said before, the Samora card does the same thing. The True King of all of the Calamities does the same thing. The Rongo Media set does the same thing. So why not ban Emptiness? It's just not healthy. It's not like anybody needs this card. Like it's just not good. The next card is another card that just says you cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh if you have these certain amount of cards, and that is Imperial Order. Being able to lock you out of spell cards is it's just not healthy. Just get it out of the game. Who cares if this card get banned? Like the one like sneaky anti-meta player is just gonna be like, oh my god, I can't stop spells anymore. I just have all these other trap cards to negate your stuff. Like, who cares? Like, ban this card. The next bans or slash limits I feel like Konami should do is to one of the most complained about archetypes in existence in Master Duel. And I feel like it's the Drytron archetype. Drytron is not fun to play against. I feel like still, even after these bans slash limits, I feel like people are still going to be complaining about Drytron because Drytron it's nothing but a degenerate deck. It's going to go to the next degenerate strategy, whether it's Scythe, whether it's some Vanity's Ruler type of, you know, combo, but it's just something to kind of stop this deck from being super powerful. And that is the Cyber Angel Benten. I feel like they're going to ban the Cyber Angel Benten because this is the core piece that gets them to generate advantage so much. So being able to, you know, ban this card and just eliminate it from the metagame, I feel like it's just healthier for the Drytron archetype. They could also ban like the Herald cards, but I feel like the core issue of Drytron is that they have just so much fuel to play around your hand traps. And even if you have like an Ash or an Imperm or a Veiler or even a Nibiru, they just generate so much advantage to where they can just Herald negate. Okay, I summon Herald. Okay, negate, 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 negate. No. Benten is the core of that issue, and I feel like it's the problem, as well as another card that I'm going to get into right now, and that is the Ava. Ava is another card that just says add more fairies, add more fairies, add more fairies, negate, 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 negate. And I feel like that's the core of the issue. These two cards being able to generate so much advantage, Ava being able to add 2 cards on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn you could send another Ava to your graveyard with the effect of Beatrice, and then add, you know, 2 more light monsters or light fairy monsters, and then you can negate more. Like these 2 cards are just degenerate cards. This card being not once per turn is just super stupid about the card. And I feel like these 2 are the core issues with the Drytron deck. Obviously, as I said before, Drytron is just a degenerate deck. It's always going to do some degenerate stuff, but at least they have less consistency and less power with the negates of the Ava being gone, as well as the Benten. So the last and final ban I'm going to be talking about in this video, or slash limited, is the Skill Drain. I feel like Skill Drain is just one of those cards that it's just not healthy in the game, especially in a best of 1 format. Obviously in a best of 3 format, it's kind of better because you have stuff like Cosmic Cyclone, Lightning Storm, like other different back row removal to kind of mitigate this, you know, problem. But like in a best of 1, like this card just shouldn't exist, or at least should go to 1 on the next ban list, because it's just not a fun card to play against. It's just anti-meta bullshit that you face on a ladder, and you know, if you don't have an house, you just scoop. The next hit is going to be another hit to the Eldritch archetype, and I feel like it's just like this deck is just not fun to play against, so I feel like they should just do everything in their power to kind of, you know, eliminate at least some of the consistency of the Eldritch archetype, and that is the Cursed Eldland. Cursed Eldland was at 2 on the Forbidden and Limited list before, but I feel like it should go to 1 to kind of get rid of the consistency of the Eldritch strategy in a Master Duel. So I just feel like this is the next step in the Eldritch hits, and I'll just talk about the next Eldritch hit that I feel like is going to happen, and that is the Scarlet Sanguine to 2. I feel like this is just more consistency hit for the Eldritch archetype, because even if this Eldritch strategy does have, like, you know, all these floodgates or, you know, trap cards, if they don't get to their engine, they can die pretty easily because they just don't have any engine to protect themselves. So I feel like hitting the Sanguine and hitting the Cursed Eldland is just very, very good to stop the Eldritch archetype from getting going. So the next hit is going to be to the Tri-Brigade slash Zodiac slash Lairlust deck, and that is the Fire Formation Tenki going to 1. I feel like this card is hitting the OCG and the TCG, and it's going to translate to Master Duel, being able to add any level 4 or lower beast warrior monster from your deck to hand, which is Fractal. Is just kind of dumb, especially with Fractal being a 1-card combo. Again, these 1-card combos are just not healthy for the game, so being able to hit these to 1 to lower the consistency of the Tri-Brigade archetype, because it's also the best archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, arguably, because a lot of people are hitting, you know, Plat 1, it's doing well in tournaments, so just hitting the consistency of the deck is pretty good, because it's kind of like a fair deck, but it's like too balanced of a deck. Because it can deal with control, it can deal with combo, it can just deal with everything, and I feel like Fire Formation Tenki to 1 is definitely good, especially with the Zodiac hit. So the next hit is going to be the Bird Call to 1. I feel like Bird Call is one of their best cards in the deck, and just allowing them to have less copies of the Bird Call is definitely good for the consistency of the deck. They still have like 3 Warbler, 3 Kobold, and, you know, Sparrow, whatever. Like, yeah, they just won't have their, you know, power spell card being at 3 and instead being at 1. Another consistency hit to the Tri-Brigade Lairlust deck is Fractal to 2. I feel like Fractal to 2 is another consistency hit. I know we're hitting Tenki already, but I feel like it's just maybe a little too less of a hit, because Tri-Brigade is just kind of one of those decks that even if you hit the consistency, they just throw in other cards like Rescue Cat or any of these other Beast Warrior cards to just kind of fill in the gap that Tenki would otherwise fill. And another card that I feel like should be hit is the Pot of Desires to 2. I feel like this is just another consistency hit. We've seen this in the OCG and the TCG, this card going to 1, so I just feel like it's just one of those hits that will translate to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. The last and final hits are to the Adamantipator deck. I feel like Adamantipator is kind of like in a weird situation. It's not like a super, you know, popular deck, but it's one of those decks that just summons like 10 billion times. It puts up a bunch of negates, it puts up a floodgate, and we already hit Union Carrier, which is, you know, fine, but I feel like it's just not enough for the Adamantipator archetype. So I'm going to be hitting the Block Dragon and the Quacky Mirror Guardian to 1. I feel like these 2 cards are just probably better. I feel like the Guardian probably should be banned. It's kind of hard. I've been thinking about this like a lot, and I feel like probably Guardian to 0 is like the correct play maybe, but I don't know. It just seems like a meme hit. Like, would we actually ban like Guardian, or will we ban Block Dragon and just kill off the Adamantipator archetype? Because I feel like Adamanticipators are balanced in this format because they have max C. So Block Dragon is not that much of an issue, but it's also an issue if it's at 3 because you're going to see more copies of it. But then again, like Guardian is just one of those degenerate cards that just says, oh, you have a hand trap, negate, and I can just combo off. Yeah. So, and it's already a deck that if you have like all of the tuner monsters, you could pretty much play through Disruption anyways. So just hitting Guardian to 1 or banning the Guardian, I feel like is the safer route. But they can also hit Block Dragon to 1 to kind of boost down the consistency of the deck. So you can't have like Block Dragon be that card to like save you after they hand trap you 10 million times, or you know, they drop Maxi and you can deck them out and stuff like that. I just feel like Block Dragon probably to 1, Guardian maybe banned, I don't know, maybe 1, maybe, you know, Block Dragon to 0, but I feel like Block Dragon to 0 just kills the deck. The next hits I'm going to be talking about is the semi-limit slash unlimit. Let's just speed through this because it's not really that relevant. I mean, I feel like only like 2 cards on this list is kind of relevant. Other ones are just like, why are these cards on the ban list? First card, Solomon Great Gazelle. Solomon Greats are not that good. It's just like we have all these broken cards like True King of all Calamities and Block Dragon and BENTEN at 3. Like, do we really care about Solomon Greats? Not really. I get it that Solomon Greats were like meta for like 2 years in the TCG and the OCG, but like it just doesn't really matter. Altergeist, it's multi-picker to 2 or 3. It doesn't really matter. It's a chop deck. I mean, it's not really degenerate like Eldritch, but it's still kind of degenerate. But I feel like it's just like a slow trap deck. Who really cares if something like, you know, Lightning Storm and Evenly Match and all these other blowout cards are like popular in the format? So I just feel like it just go to 3. Another card, Nutty Servant. I feel like this can go to, I think it's at 1 or 2. I think I feel like this card should just go to 3. Like, who cares about the Invoke Dogmatic deck? I feel like it's not that popular, and yeah, just give a boost to the deck. If it seems to be a problem, just, you know, hit it again. It's not that big of a deal. I feel like the bigger problem is the Shaddoll window, which it's not seeing that much play in the format, so it's not really that much of an issue. But Nutty Servant at 3, who really cares? Raigeki is another card that can go to 3. Like, who really cares? Like, this card is a blowout card. Like, there's so many protection in this format. Like, you have like Block Dragon, you have stuff like the Colossus that can protect yourself. There's like, you know, Orcus Ding Girsuke that can protect your whole field. Like, there's many different ways to protect your field. Balinks, there's just so many ways to protect your monsters from being destroyed by card effects. You also have negates like Savage and Herald. So Raigeki to 3, just why not? And it also promotes like going second decks, which is pretty cool. Red Reboot, like, we hate trap decks. Like, just put Red Reboot to 3. It's not really like a popular card. It's only really good against trap decks, and in a best of 1 format, like, Red Reboot's not gonna really do anything. Cypher and Gamma, this is one of the more important cards. I feel like stopping these combo decks from being so explosive turn 1 is the reason why Gamma should go to 3. Like, Gamma is one of those cards that just says destroy the card and get the effect, and yeah, I get these 2 bodies in the board. So it just promotes going second a lot more, and I feel like this card just should go to 3 because it's one of the more healthier hand traps that can just stop a combo deck from going off. Another card that I feel like should go to 3, Red as Dark and Metal Dragon. Like, who really cares? Like, who's playing a dragon deck in the year 2022? You Copium Dragon Link players, whatever, or Dragon Maids or whatever. Metaverse to 3, like, Mystic Mind is banned. Who cares? Who really cares? Like, come on, man. Totally Awesome. This card should have never went to 1. I don't know why it's at 1. This card is very, very good for stuff like frogs. There's like Bahamut Shark into Toad plays. Like, give frog players some, you know, support. They need this. Like, why is this at 1? And another card that shouldn't be at 1 is ABC Dragon Buster. Why is this card at 1? Like, who's playing ABCs in the year 2022? Like, who cares? Just put this card at 3. So that is it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this ban list. Have I missed anything? Have I, you know, am I, you know, smoking on that crack? Do you think like BENTEN just go to 1? Do you feel like Drytron is just, no, everybody thinks Drytron should just be hit? Or do you think like I hit, you know, Tribegate too hard? Or do you feel like, you know, either Guardian or Black Dragon should be banned? Or, you know, if you're sipping on that horror copium, you think True King? No. We're not defending. You're not defending these cards that are broken. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.